I think they have so many contradictions. And then, of course, you know what happened to FDC. I don't know the opening to my argument. I don't know if I'm right. I don't know if I'm the one who has switched off.
You're in silent disco and you put off all the channels. I will say that. He's put off green, blue, red, all the channels are definitely off. But thank you very much, Ataire. And I think that analysis, you're not the first person to speak to that in terms of the lukewarm nature of the political season coming through. Sheila, is it any different? And especially when we get to retreat to Tembozi, you totally switch off from what's happening in the city center?
I think for me, I switched off in 2016. I'm glad that he's switching it off now. Because after 2016, I switched off. And I have had always this argument, why have elections anywhere when we know the results before? Okay. So to me, I think many Ugandans are joining us and we sit and watch. You know, you look and say, okay, after the elections, I'm sure we are having elections again on a Thursday, then Friday it's another public holiday. They count. Saturday they announce. Sunday we go to pray for our leaders. And business as usual, we go. And to me, I think that apathy, it's bad. It's bad for a country because as a country, we should be able to vote for the leaders in a proper manner.
You're
but
right.
If you see what is being done, somebody who has the most amount of money. What happened the other time in Kololo? Even when NRM was, because NRM sets the pace. What they actually did was, if I have money, I'll take the vote, whether you like it or not. And they allowed it in the open. Nobody came out to say, oh, this was bad or to castigate it. And of course, the other parties, nope, sometimes they say they are not being given a fair platform to play. But I've been at funerals and other occasions, church occasions, and I always see the Noop Brigade coming in and they disperse and at least make an impression. But when it comes to the way political parties were supposed to organize, when we transitioned from one party state or the movement where we were all supposed to be ganged up on individual merit, these political parties were supposed to be given a fair space to play. I think we didn't anticipate that people would be cleverer and put in money and eliminate those without money. Those with ideas sometimes sit back and say, I'm not going into that fracas.
Okay.
But remember, the people who are coming in with money, if it is a mafia group, it's going to mafia all of us together. So what we are looking at 2026, I don't know whether it is cry my beloved country. We just watch and we say, if we don't turn up, then who are the people who are going to be voted? But if those who are going to be voted are not the best of the best, because we want representation. When we are going out there to vote, I want the best person.
But the best out of the best are not willing to come and, get into the game.
Because when
they've decided to remain aloof.
No, they say if you dance with the devils, then you get stepped upon or something like that. So sometimes you look at a situation and say, is this worth it? But what to do?
And yet you, the electorate, want to elect the best of the best.
We want to
the best of the best have decided to remain in their bedroom.
They are not offering themselves because the game is not going to be any fair.
Okay.
And we shouldn't expect elections to say, oh, we are having elections because we are going to get the best representation.
Okay.
It is who can do it worst in terms of bribing, not the best. Who can do it worst? So, let's pray for our country.
Switched off as well as
let's pray for our country.
Green. I don't know if it is any different for Richard in this political space. I mean, we're just a few weeks, so to say, into what the campaigns will be. And looking at the fact that this is September and we're voting in January, those are just a few months apart. Do you feel that political heat, anything that is catching your attention that you would want to be looking at in this time?
No, I have increasingly become inherently a deep Musevinist. I was Museveni's really, but I think I was milder.
But now you're getting deeper.
I think I've become deeper. And I really think that I am unable to switch off.
You can't.
I am
you just
simply
can't.
unable to switch off.
Okay.
Even if I try to pretend that I have switched off, I will be feeling the current inside me. You see, I think drones are mere bees, but they were turned. The drone now it became a piece of equipment. For you guys, you use it to take good pictures. But that's not what it was made for. The drone warfare. And so the drone warfare, if you take a comparison with the drones in Uganda, talking about politics with honesty, you are facing a drone opponent. And this drone is a reality. It has been a reality, picked people, taken photos, or the registration numbers. So we find ourselves curtailing ourselves because of the drone reality. And these drones, how do they operate? They are remote controlled. They have a level of autonomy. They lack empathy. So how are the drones are operating here? It's the same characteristics. So we have, what did Kataha call it diplomatically? Something, because he can't talk about the diplomatic service. He has some boundaries. But you see, my Musevenism is the study of this individual. For me, people, as I say, I study the individual. I study his strengths, his weaknesses. But I think he's largely a very strong individual. And he has held us by whatever body organ you want to use for
Parents
decades.
used to use the ear, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Whatever body organ you can apply for decades. But now, he's really squeezed even more. That the RXs have switched off. The man has squeezed adequately. And
I remember as a kid, your parent would literally pinch your stomach and say,
my
"Don't
mother,
say
yes, would get your
anything."
stomach.
Yeah, sure.
Now the other man, I don't know which one is holding for each one of us. But, you know, the withdrawal. But the withdrawal is creating a passage
Okay.
for another individual. I think, first of all, because of his biology, I'm convinced he can't go to all the districts. Nothing. But two, the period that is available. Remember, I used to be on the team that would accompany him when I was still media active. I know how grueling
It is.
it
yeah.
is to run through this country. And the districts were less. Now it is going to be organized. If I was the one making the strategy and the ones making the strategy, some of them are more brilliant than I can even.
And we are having a
We
few
are going
more
to do
districts
sub-regions,
coming.
I think. I don't think he can have more than 50 or so meetings all over the country. I do not think, even when you use the chopper. And the chopper has also its issues. Anyway, when you consider, especially when you have been in power for long, the chopper has issues, usually. So this is what, it will be a sub-regional. But I think it's going to be the easiest,
Campaign?
yes, that he has had over the years. Because the drone warfare has really done its work. I'm talking about the drone warfare in its broader term. Because the restriction on whoever wants to present themselves has been so effective. And I want you to keep
Mr.
remembering,
Maguma,
I want you to keep remembering the image of a certain Chifefe with holding bars like this. That's really drone warfare.
Okay.
And it has worked.
And that
is a
reminds me-
Musevenism proper.
That reminds me actually of the statement that he made that I will crush the opposition by 2021. Prophecy achieved?
But you see, the crushing is with velvet gloves. You know, when you put a hammer in a velvet, it looks very innocent. But it's still a hammer. And
Nevertheless, yeah.
so when you see the restrictions on funding, on talking, on meeting, on movement, basic movement. So what do? You find that you then have, but also because of the drone warfare, of the hovering drone, people don't want to associate. No, it is very dangerous to associate. You will feel it in the employment of your wife. You will feel it in the schooling of your children. You will feel it in the business of your brother. You will feel it, you know, the heat will be applied in the other places. So this for me, so when you start judging the politics or the political supposed opposition without really looking at this, I think we are not being fair to ourselves.
All right. Thank you so much. It's an interesting one, especially when you talk about that drone syndrome in our politics. But Raymond, to you, switched on, switched off, what's catching your eye, or it's business as usual?
This is the first election I'm not in the newsroom. I am looking forward to being in Fort Portal at 6 a.m. at my polling station.
At the polling station, sure.
Yes, so I am switched on as it comes. But I share the sentiment with many people. There's a great hesitation in Ugandan politics right now. So many people just don't understand what's happening around them, including people who have been in politics for a long time. We've seen members of the NRM-SEC surprised that they could be defeated by upstarts on the day of the election.
Right.
We've seen members of National Unity Platform's top-ranking tier who now realize that they're not going to get the party card. So there's this great hesitation about many people in Uganda's politics now that they don't understand what's happening. And it's a fair assessment. It looks more than ever that people have retreated into the smaller interest groups and are starting to mobilize through them. It could also be an effect of money. Every election where money has been used as a tool of campaigning, the voter apathy has been high. And I think this is the first time in Uganda's history that more than 3 trillion shillings has been pumped down the population through PDM before an election. So it may not even be apathy. It might just be people having, they're just waiting for the D-Day. But there's also a crisis in defining an election. I think the reason Besigye was a more tactful politician was his ability to define an election before it happened.
Okay.
And I think Besigye was lucky that the amount of violence that was meted out on his political unit isn't the same amount that's vetted out on the NUT platform. I think that for NUP, every morning they have to work